Welcome to Mr. English KJ.
When you click on the link, this window will pop up. Scroll down, as you can see, passive voice. Now, if you know active voice, passive voice will be easy for you. If you don't know active voice, it will be difficult. Now, you might be thinking, what is an active voice? If I explain you, it's simple, nothing difficult. Active voice is like normal tense that you see, modals, or anything that you have studied, that is active voice. Okay? Where there is a subject, then you use a verb, and there is an object. That is called an active voice. Okay? For example, I can say, I am speaking. That is active voice. Okay? Where, as you can see, I is the subject, am is the verb, speaking is also a verb. Okay? So there is no object. But I am speaking is an active. Now what is a passive? In passive, we highly focus on object. Okay? Rather than subject, we highly focus on object. That is the only difference between active and passive. Major difference, I would say. Now if you see this one, difference between active and passive voice, it will tell you what are the major differences in active and passive voice. Now you might be thinking, why do you need to know that, right? Well, for example, if you don't know when to use passive, how can you use passive in real life, right? So I will teach you how to use. In active, subject is the doer. If you see doer means, do means we do something, okay? An act we perform, so we do. When we add er to it, that means who does the work, okay? A doer. Just like if I use work and I add er, what is becomes worker. Play, er, player, okay? That's how we create some minor vocabularies also. Now, the point is, we know active subject is the doer, but in passive, subject is an agent. An agent who does the work but does not get importance. Agent is like a mediator, okay? You do a work, there is a purchaser or seller, and then agent, a middleman, okay? Not that important. We focus on these two generally. So that is what a passive is, where subject is not that important, okay? In active, we highly focus on subject. In passive, it's not important, okay? Remember that. Now, series of importance. Subject is the most, verb then object. And here, why it is like that? Let's take a look in the example. He is eating the food. Now, what is he? A subject. As you can see, he is in number 1 position in the front. Then we have is, then we have eating, which is verb. Second position, okay? First position, second position. And the third position is the food. Now, the food is the object, okay? Subject is the most important in active because it comes front, okay? But in passive voice, what we do, as you can see, the food comes first, then the verb, then at the end we have by him. Meaning to say subject is not important here. It goes at the end, okay? So, in the passive, we highly focus on verb, object as subject, meaning to say this one, the object who is in the position of subject, as you can see here, and the subject as an agent. The agent, because it is not important. Okay, let me make it easier. Now these will help you to understand when to make passive, when to make active. So in active, when subject takes responsibility. In passive, when subject avoids responsibility. Avoids responsibility meaning to say you don't want to take the responsibility, so you focus on the verb. Like here, the work has been done. Who has done the work? I'm not mentioning it, okay? That's why it is inside the bracket. The work has done. So I'm not taking responsibility here. I am avoiding the responsibility. That's why I made passive. Here, I have done the work. I am taking the responsibility. Get it? Now it's your choice. In some situations where you do not want to take responsibility, you can use passive, okay? There are more examples to make indirect, formal, impersonal, scientific sentence. Then we use also passive. Meaning to say to make indirect, where you do not want to take the responsibility, take the credit, take the blame or anything directly to yourself. So you make a passive where you focus on verb and you do not mention the doer, the subject. And that's how it becomes indirect. Formal. Formal meaning to say, suppose in organizations, teamwork we say, sometimes there are other factors. So you don't want to take all the credit to yourself. you can use passive that. Or you do not want to give credit to others, you can use passive that. Either way you can. Okay. Impersonal, again, if someone did something wrong and you are blaming that person, you use active because you mention the name of that person and then the thing or the act that person did, right? But for example, he broke the glass. Suppose that. So you pin the blame on that person. He broke the glass. That is active. But in passive, you do not mention he. You just mention the action and what happened. The glass was broken. Okay. Who did it? You did not mention. You made it impersonal. You made it indirect or maybe formal. You don't want to, you want to be professional. You don't want to pinpoint blames on others. Scientific also. Scientific sentence meaning to say mostly in government documents you will find passive. Mostly in government documents or contract, there you will find passive voice. Do you know why? Because they don't want to take the blame directly to themselves. They don't want to take responsibility directly to themselves. That's where they create passive. After this video, I guarantee that in real life you understand passive. In school life, you have seen a lot of examples of passive. You have done lots of examples of passive, I guess. But those are not the real passive that you use in your real life. Okay. After this video, as I was saying, you will learn how people trick using sentences. This is called one of the word power. Okay. One of the word power, like you can see, where people talk in a way that persuade others, where people talk in a way that they get away from things. Passive will help you. It's a life skill. Okay. Remember that. Not just for English, for your life skill also. Now, sometimes subject is missing. Subject is not important. We ignore the subject and do not know what or who the subject is. These are also the reason when we use passive voice. Okay. This one, we know the subject here, but we have other reasons. Here, we don't know subject majorly. Maybe subject is missing, subject is not important, we ignore the subject and we don't even know who the subject is. In these situations, we just make the sentence and good to go. Remember that. And the active is totally opposite to it. Okay, direct personal sentence. Subject is taking responsibility and we know who subject is. Everything is about subject. Subject is the most important person. Okay. Now this might be helpful. An action sentence and no action sentence, meaning to say if I say he is here, there is no verb here, meaning we are not doing anything. Okay. I know this is a verb, but we are not doing anything. He is here. We don't make passive of sentences like these. Okay. Where there is no action, where there is no act. He is working. Yes, we can make the passive of it. But he is here. My name is. We don't make passive. Okay. Remember that. Now same thing you can see here. Now you know when we use passive. Let's understand how can we use passive. There are few steps that we follow. The first step is by plus subject as an object. That we have seen already, but let's try to understand. Now, if you know pronoun, it's good. If you don't know, you can click this link and you can learn pronoun here. This is a button, you just click it and you learn pronoun. Subject and object. We know what is subject, we know what is an object. Subject most likely the doer, object most likely receiver. Okay. Sometimes it is a giver also, but most likely you will find it as a receiver. Now, he will become him, she. This is the sequence. Okay. For a noun, noun is also a subject, noun is also an object, but it will always be the same. If it is cat as a subject, in object it will always be a cat. Okay. But in pronoun it changes. He becomes him, you becomes you, I becomes me, we become us. Remember. And same goes this way. Now, he runs the company. He is the most important one because it's an active. We are focusing on subject. He runs the company. Runs doesn't mean that we are running in the company. It means that he is the most important one in the company. He is the one that makes the company grow, or he is the reason for the progress in the company. That is why we use the word runs the company. Okay. You can see that in business term. He runs the business. He runs the show. That means he is the one, because of that the show is progressing. Okay. He runs the company. He is the important one. We are giving credit to he. But in passive, what we do, suppose that in real life, if we say he runs the company, maybe other employees or other people or other board directors, they don't like it. They might get discouraged or they do not get motivated. In this case, what we can do? We can ignore the subject and focus on the verb. The company is run. And that's how we give importance to the verb. Okay? We don't need to mention by him. In real life, we don't mention this. Okay? How do we get that? The subject goes at the end and it becomes object, which was him. And we add by. We do that always in past. All the time we do that. But the difference in real life and in grammar books is, in grammar books you can find this, the subject in place of object. But in real life you don't see that. You will see the company is run. That's it. Okay. So as you can see, he becomes him. This is a way, because here it is in first position, important. Here it is in last position, least important. That's how we make passive. One important thing that I would like to tell, he runs the company is present simple, which means we are telling a truth, routine and something like that. Okay. The company is run, it's also present simple. And it is also, we are still telling the truth and routine. Meaning to say, either it is active or it is passive. It doesn't matter. The meaning does not change. The definition does not change. The tense or modals does not change. You get that? Whatever you are saying in he runs the company, you are saying the same thing, the company is run. Okay? The only difference is that he runs the company, you are giving importance to he. The company is run, you are not giving any importance to any subject. You are totally ignoring the subject if you don't mention the subject. If you are mentioning the subject, you are mentioning it at the end, which clears that you are not giving the subject that much importance. Okay? Meaning will be the same. He runs the company and the company is run. Both are same. Remember that. I am delivering a pizza. I think this might be easy. This will help you to understand. Who is delivering the pizza? I. Who is responsible for this? I. A pizza is being delivered. Same. I am delivering a pizza is being delivered. Both are work in progress. Both happening at the same time. Okay? It does not change anything. The thing that it changes, here we are giving importance to I, here we are not. Here we are just focusing on the verb. So, this is a present continuous. This is also present continuous. I know the rules are different. It looks different, but it is still the same old present continuous. Work in progress. Okay? So suppose you call right now to pizza and a pizza delivery guy comes trying to deliver a pizza. In both cases, it is same. Here, you just focus on the person. Here, you don't. Or you are showing the person, but you are not giving importance to that person. Okay? Remember that. Now here, it's easy. You see a man, it's a noun, so here it will be the same. The food will be the same. Again, it's a past simple or past indefinite. Here it is also past indefinite and past simple. Nothing changes. The definition it gives in a passive and active, it is giving same here. Remember that. Object as a subject. Now if you see here, he forces us. What he did, he is the one, he is the responsible one. He forces us. He puts force on us. Okay? Who is receiving the force? Us. But in passive, it goes here and this one goes at the end. So us becomes we and he becomes by him. Again, both are present simple, present indefinite, and both shows the same meaning, same definition. It does not change anything. The only thing that changes is the importance of subject. He forces us. He put force on us. We are forced. We are receiving force. Okay? But who is forcing us? We cannot mention that person, or if we want to mention that person, we are not giving importance to that person. We are giving importance to the object and the verb. Okay? Because they are coming first. The us becomes we. Okay? If you don't know pronoun, you need to go to this link. The button that you see, you just need to click it and you can learn more about pronoun. Now there are more. They killed her. So they are the responsible one. She was killed. Same thing. In both sentences, she was killed. Okay? She died. But here we are putting blame on people. They. Here, if we don't mention them, there are tons of reasons not to mention them. I have discussed that above. Maybe we don't know the subject. We don't want to mention the subject. We don't want to give importance to the subject. We don't want to put blame on subject or responsibility. If we mention it, it's clear that we are not giving importance to the subject. That's why we are putting him at the end. We focus on here. She was killed. But in real life, you won't see this. Okay, in grammar books, you will see because they try to teach you. In real life, if you are mentioning a subject, then why do you need to make a passive voice, right? So that's why you don't see a subject majorly in real life. Okay, I can win the race. I'm using a modal. I can. So I have the ability to win the race. The race can be won. But I'm not mentioning by whom. Again, I focus on the race and the winning part. I'm not focusing on the subject. I moves at the end and it becomes by me. Okay. The race is an object. It goes first. The race can be won. So we are just telling it is possible to win the race. But who will win? Not mentioning in passive. I can win. I'm showing strong possibility or I'm showing my ability is that I can win the race. Okay. The verb. This is the important one. The verb showing be plus verb third form. This is the key in passive voice. Be plus verb third form. First thing what we do, subject at the end, it becomes an object and we add by. That is the first step. Second step, the object moves forward, it becomes or acts as subject. Third step, be plus verb third form. Whatever the rule is, we add be plus verb third form. Remember that. As I was saying, if you know tenses, if you know modals, it will be easy for you. If you don't know, no problem. You can learn. This is my website. You can learn past tense, you can learn present tense, you can learn everything here. Okay. Now, be plus verb third form. We add to any verb. So in present continuous, if you see is, am, are, that is the rule of present continuous. Is, am, are, verb first form, ing. We convert it into passive by adding be plus verb third form. Okay. Now what we do, you can see one verb here, one verb here. So we combine these two together. What will we get? Be plus ing, we will get being. Okay. Then it becomes is, am, are plus being plus verb third form. This is the rule of passive voice present continuous. Okay. You get it? How we add be plus verb third form. Same way if we have has, have, verb third form, we add be plus verb third form. That is the rule. We always add be plus verb third form. Same thing, just like you saw here. We turn be with verb third form, it will become been. So the new rule will be has, have, been, verb third form. Okay. Don't worry, I will explain that deeply. So he is controlling them. He goes at the end. Them comes at first. Them becomes they. He becomes by him. And you see is. We were using he here. So that's why we were using is. Now they. So we can't use is. We use are. Is, am, are. Are is for plural. If you don't know tenses, don't know anything, go here. Okay. Then come back to the passive voice. Now they are, as you see, being controlled is a third form of control. Controlled by him. He is controlling them. He is the one, he is the responsible one who is controlling them. And who is receiving the control? Them. Okay. Because they are being controlled. They are the one who are receiving. Okay. Same thing. Same here, same here. The difference is we are giving importance to he. We are not giving importance to he here. Okay. That is the only difference in active and passive. Remember that. Now, we were making the food. Obviously, we were the doer who were making the food. The food was being made. Who made the food? Maybe we don't mention or we don't remember or we are not giving importance. If we mention by us. Okay. You can read here also. If you want to, understand more, you can read here. Okay. You can see we become us. Food is a noun, so it is same. We using were because it was we here. Now it is food, a singular. So we use was. And then being made. Be third form. That we added to the past continuous, which was, were first form, ing. That was the rule of past continuous. Okay. No problem. You will see that in detail further. Okay. Here you can see be verb third form. It is explaining to you. Be plus verb third form. Same thing. Is helping her, being helped. Okay. You can pause and try to understand. It and there. If you remember, the first sentence that I made, there was no object. Sometimes it happens when there is no object in a sentence, like he plays daily. There is no object here. So obviously he goes back becomes by him, but there is no object. What can we do? We use it. Okay. When there is no object, we create one, it. Or sometimes there. I did yesterday. Okay. I cooked yesterday. I studied yesterday. I'm not mentioning any object. There is no receiver here. So we put it or there. Okay. It was done yesterday by me. Or I don't even mention by me. In real life, I don't mention this part. Okay. I just say it was done yesterday. So we use it and there when there is no object in a sentence. Okay. Remember that. Two objects. By the grace of God, sometimes we can get two objects like me, pen. In that case, you can pick any object. Okay. Would I be borrowed a pen by you? As you can see, I is the part of me. Me was the object. It goes forward and become I. Would I be borrowed a pen? It's a question. Would I be borrowed a pen by you? Or would a pen be borrowed to me by you? If it is hard, pause and try to understand. Okay. He explained this to them. Again, two objects. This is explained to them by him. Or you can say they, we don't use is, they are explained this by him. Okay. Let's see. They are explained this by him. See. So when there are two objects, it's up to you. Whichever you want to choose, you can choose. Prepositional phrase. If you want to learn prepositional phrase, you can by going here. Here you can see preposition. There you can find preposition phrase also. Okay. Or you can click here. Now what's a prepositional phrase? When we use things like that, they are not object. Okay. They are prepositional phrase. Now don't get confused by believing or assuming them to be an object. Okay. When you see a preposition in to, most likely it is in preposition phrase. Okay. When you see it alone, like here, you notice he is helping her. I will not ask them. There you can find a proper object because we are not using anything, any preposition before them. But here we used a preposition. Okay. When you see preposition phrase, obviously it is not an object. When there is no object, what we do? We use it. Now, let's try to understand these in detail. If you are unable to see it properly, what you can do? You can press Ctrl and scroll of your mouse and you can zoom. If you have a laptop, you can just pinch zoom it in your laptop. Okay. I think this might be okay. Let's start. So these are some images where I am explaining you passive voice. Example to example. Let's focus on the continuous first, but let's take a look here. Here you will see all active. The rule of active voice, the rule of passive, examples of passive voice. Okay. Remember that. Present simple, present indefinite, past simple, past indefinite. We will do later. Let's focus on present continuous first. Now, present continuous. Present continuous, something is in progress. The rule is MR, verb first form, ing. As I taught you, be plus verb third form we add to every tense or modals, every rule that we see in order to convert them into passive. So you see the bold part, it is helping you to understand. We had verb first form ing here. What we do? We add be to that verb first form ing and it becomes being. So we are left with verb third form and that is our new rule. Is MR being verb third form. This is the rule of passive. Okay. This is the rule of active normal tense. If you want to learn how to make a rule, here you can see. Okay. It will be easy for you. You don't need to cram. If you want to directly cram, you don't want to make. These are the passive rules. You can cram them. Okay. Let's take a look on the example that are used in real life. In real life, you don't see by majorly. I am being caught. So I am being caught, as I told you, active and passive, it does not change anything. It is same. The only difference is subject goes at the end, object comes first, meaning to say we do not give importance to the subject. We know we see is MR, we see be plus ing and third form. Always third form with be. We know it is a passive. Okay. This is also a way to identify. So if it is a passive, we know this one is not a subject. It is an object. Okay. So we know it is a receiver. I am being caught. And we know which tense it is, present continuous. Because if you don't understand, no problem. What you need to do is to remove verb third form. We will have the word that is verb first of the caught, that is catch. We don't need be also, because what we are doing, we are undoing it. Meaning to say we are converting passive back to active. Okay, so we remove verb third form. What we have? Catch, the verb first form. We remove be. What we are left with? ing. So catch will be added to the word ing. What we have? Am catching. And we know I is the receiver. So obviously it will go here. Okay, am catching me. So who is catching me? We don't know generally. If it was not mentioned here, we don't know. Okay, but we know actually in real life subject is not given. Okay, here I gave you for better understanding. So we know police is the one. With police we don't use am, we use are. Police are catching me. That is the actual sentence. If it is hard for you to understand passive, you can always convert them back to active. Okay, or you can directly understand them. So that is how you convert them back to normal. Police are catching me. Now you get it. Or you can directly understand that I is the receiver. So I is receiving what? Being caught. So someone is catching I. That is also an easy way by using the word someone and then you use is and then same thing you do. Convert catch and then you add the ing. Someone is catching me. That is how you can also understand. Okay. Either way it is fine. If you want to undo passive to active or you just use the word someone and a little bit of undoing. Now there is no subject here. The earth is already being controlled. Now don't get confused by the word already that it has done already. No. The progress has started already. Okay. The earth is already being controlled. Same it is present continuous because we can see ing here and we see the third form. We know it is mr. Obviously it is present continuous and the earth is the receiver. The earth is already being controlled, meaning to say someone is controlling the earth. As I told you, what you need to do, undo this. Okay. So we remove verb third form, but we are left with the word control. And then we know be and verb third form is the essence of passive voice. So we remove be also. But we are left with ing. We add ing to the word control. We have controlling. We have is. We don't know subject. We know earth is the object. So in place of the earth, what we use? Someone. Someone or something is controlling the earth. Okay. And that's how you can make it easy. And that's how you can understand passive easily. Okay. How is he still being supported? Try to understand. It's a question. You are asking a question. Remember that he is not the subject. He is the object. Okay. He is receiving here. So how is he still being supported? He is receiving the support by others. So I'm questioning this. How is someone still supporting him? Okay, because he is the object. We know it. The actual form is him. We can move it at the end. Suppose this is not mentioned. We don't know the subject, but we can add someone. How is someone still? Again, we don't need be. We don't need third form. We just add ing to the word support. How is someone supporting him? And that's how we get our active. How is someone supporting him? If you do not understand, repeat, rewatch the video, read the whatever you are seeing there, and most important thing, practice. Try. Without trying, you want to. Last one I am leaving for you. Okay. Now, same thing with the past continuous. Be, verb, third form, we add everywhere. Was verb first form ing is the rule of past continuous. What we do, we add be with verb first form ing and it becomes being. Let's try to zoom out a little, okay? Because I want to explain more, okay? What we are left with, verb third form. And that's why we have was verb, being and verb third form. Again, it does not change anything. It is still the past continuous tense. The only thing that changes is the subject is not important, okay? Were they being controlled? Again, it's the same thing. They is the receiver. So what we do, was someone, we remove be, we have ing, we add it to the word control because we don't need third form. The actual rule is active voice in was verb first form ing. Was someone controlling, they is the object, we know in passive them. Was someone controlling them? Easy, right? That's how you can understand. Or if you can understand passive directly, that is good for you. She was being supported. So she, again the receiver, was. So how you do directly? She is the receiver that is receiving what? The support. And it's past continuous, so it's in old progress. So something was happening to her. She was receiving a support. By whom? We don't know. If we don't know the fan word here, okay? Someone was, again we don't need be. Ing adds to the word support and it becomes someone was supporting. She goes back at the end and it becomes the object her. to its original place. Someone was supporting her. Okay, we know fans, so we can say fans were supporting, because fans, it's not fan. Fans were supporting her. That's how we do it. Rest of it, try to make by yourself. Present perfect. Again the same thing, be plus verb third form. Here we see has have verb third form in present perfect. The verb third form, and then we added to the be. What be will become? Be third form is always been. Okay. So we add this verb third form, just like we were adding verb first form ing to be. Now we are adding verb third form to be. So it becomes been, but we are left with another verb third form, as you can see here. So has have been verb third form. Again it's the same. I have been found. Remember, I have been found, meaning to say someone found me, right? Same thing. We don't need be. What we need from be? The third form. And we don't need the be plus third form, meaning to say we don't need both if we try to convert. So we remove be. What we are left with? Verb third form. Here we don't need verb third form. What we are left with? The word. We add the word find to this verb third form. We got found again. Okay. As you can see, third form, third form, third form. I is the object, so we know someone has found me. Someone has found me. That is the original word. Okay. Now, by whom? Whom is the object form of who? By whom? Remember, who is the subject, whom is the object form of who. Okay. So here obviously we are using an object form. We can convert that into a subject form. Maybe this is an object, maybe this is an object. We don't know. Maybe there are two objects. Okay. Try to understand it. If you don't know, problem, ask me in the Discord or in the comments. Okay. If you really try, it's easy, not that difficult. Same goes for past perfect tense. Had plus verb third form, same thing we will do. We add be verb third form and we get had been verb third form. Okay. The pages had been folded. So someone had folded the pages. That is the active form. Here we can see pages is an object. Pages received. What they received? Fold. Getting folded by someone. Okay. We don't know who. These are the real life passive voice. You can see that in literature, in books, newspapers, or so many articles. Real passive voice. Present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous. Normally we don't use them in passive voice. So I suggest you should also not use them. But if you want to read them, you can. Okay. If you notice, there are two be. Because we are applying the same formula, we are adding be third form to the word, but there is already a be here. And then we are adding another be. We are end up with 2b. But it is highly debatable. Some people believe we only use 1b out of 2. Some people believe it's rule we have to use. And that's why nobody uses any b. So technically you won't find passive of these. But if you are still curious, you can try to solve them. Okay. Modals. Easy. In modals, there is always verb first form. So what we do, we add be to verb first form. What will we get? Always the be. Same be you will find. And then the third form. The same rule, be plus verb third form. Let's try. The clock will be hung on the wall. Clock is the receiver. Clock will be hung. In the future, it will be hung. Hang, third form is hung. Okay. Meaning to someone will paste or hang the clock on the wall. Okay. Or set the clock on the wall. We are not mentioning who or whom. We don't want to mention, we don't know or anything. Okay. The toy might be broken. Now in this case, we know we don't want to mention the subject. Maybe we don't want to put the blame on subject. We don't know the subject. Okay. Could I be robbed? Here you can see I is the receiver. If you make an active voice of this, could someone rob me? I will become me again. Could someone rob me again? Because you know we add be third form. We don't need be here. We remove third form. We end up with the word rob. Don't have a subject, so we use the word someone. Could someone rob me? Because I is the object again. Okay. Vehicles must not be driven rashly. Now we are saying to anyone, because we are not mentioning subject. Whom are we talking about? Maybe we are talking about everyone. Okay. And that's why we are making passive. Vehicles must not be driven rashly. Same thing we say if we say everyone must not drive vehicles rashly. Okay. If you are not getting it, I suggest click on the link that is in the description. Read all the article. Come back to the video, or you will find the video there also. Watch it again. Still you don't get it, you know my Discord, which is @ Mr. English KJ. Okay. That is my Discord. Now, There are some other modals that we use with to plus verb first. Okay, like you can see, to plus verb first form. Same thing we do, we add be verb third form at the end of to plus verb first form. Okay, it was verb first form, so be will still be the same. If we add be plus verb first form, it will become be again, right? The examinations have to be finished. Have to is like similar to must, but a little different. Okay, minor difference. So examinations is the receiver. The examinations have to be finished. This part is the passive, remember, okay? Not the have part. This part is the passive. The examination have to be finished. By whom? We don't know. Okay, we don't know the subject. Who will have to finish the exam? Who must finish the exam? But we are just telling that it must be ended. Okay, again I made a passive. It must be ended. Water needs to be saved. Meaning to say someone, or we are talking about everyone. Everyone needs to save water. Same way you can find it here. These are same modals, but we are using the past form of them. Meaning to say, in place of have to, we use had to. In place of need, we use needed. In place of want, we use wanted. But again, in passive, it will be the same. Be third form and the same thing. Okay, try to understand. Now, in modals, there are also future perfect continuous. Okay, the continuous modals or the perfect modals. Same thing here. We don't use that normally in real life. If you want to learn, of course, you can learn from the website. Okay, they don't come in real life. Okay, the future perfect modals is same. As you notice, there is have verb third form. Now you might be confused. Future perfect modals you have never heard, but it is there is. Okay, if you don't know tenses of them, how can you do passive, right? If you don't know the active, how can you do passive? If you know active, you can easily do passive of it because it is still the same. We are adding be third form to the same rule and then we are making same thing. What you need to do here also, you need to convert back the passive example into active, or you can use the word someone here. Okay, same thing. We don't use future perfect continuous here also. People don't use it because it is debatable. Infinite. Infinite is similar like want to be, to plus verb first form. What we do, we add to be plus verb third form. Okay, to be traveled the whole world, you need to earn a lot. Here we are making a passive, to be traveled. So you are saying I receive the traveling. I'm not doing it because I am the receiver here, the traveling. This is the active. You need to earn a lot of money. You can see directly there is no be third form here. You need to earn a lot of money. So you is the subject. But to be traveled the whole world, that is the passive. Okay, in order to travel the whole world, you need to earn a lot of money. Clear? Remember that. So we are not directly putting for you to do everything. We are just saying it happens. We are focusing on the verb here. Okay, we are not focusing on the subject. We are focusing on the verb here. That's why we made passive. Same goes to be verb first form ing. In real life we don't use it. To have a verb third form, same thing happens. The perfect passive infinite. This perfect continuous infinite we don't use in real life. The verb first form, that is called a zero infinite. The same thing we do. Be verb third form. Okay, he saw her to be fallen from the stairs. You can see that he saw her to be fallen, meaning to say someone tried to push her. Okay, that's why she fell. So she is not doing it herself. She received it. She is the object. Okay, to be fallen is for her. Okay, and he saw, it's the active because he saw. Remember that. Now same goes for others. Would rather, be plus third form. Let. If you notice in let that the word let, subject in form of object, it already comes with a subject as an object. Okay, but here as usual, meaning to say the subject goes at the end. So let me be helped. So what it will become? It will become let you help me. Let the cat be rescued. Let her rescue the cat. So the subject in form of object is already there, and that is the real object that is at the end. Okay, here you will see the same thing, but the object gets here, let the object, and the subject goes at the end, just like the usual self. Okay, so it is our object, it is our actual subject. Okay, let means allow. So allow you to help me. Okay, and allow her to rescue the cat. Give her permission to rescue the cat. You might not see that in real life that much, but if you see, this is the way. Okay, it goes same with the participle. The gerund ing, same thing you will find. He hates being insulted. So we know he hates is the active, okay? But being insulted, he is receiving the insult. He hates, it's directly, we are implying to he, okay? Because he receives the hate, that is the active. He hates, subject. He being insulted, it's the object because he is receiving the insult and that is what he hates the most, okay? Now you see active and passive both together. So this happens. You can take a look on examples. You don't understand, you know what to do. Comment or my Discord, right? Now, we are left with these two. Remember? Now the only problem with present simple, present indefinite or past simple, past indefinite is they are little different. Because here, what we normally do, we have verb first form in present simple, we have verb second form. We are mainly focusing on verb first and second form. We are not focusing on this one, did plus verb first form, do does plus verb first form. We are not focusing it, okay? So if we add be plus verb third form to verb first form, what we get? We get be plus verb third form at the end, right? Same way, if I add be to verb second form, then we get been plus verb third form, right? Now, we cannot use them alone. Actually, in grammar history, be was the word that made is, am, are, was and were, okay? It's like be was the mother of is, am, are, was, were. Okay, be birth is, am, are, was, were. So, when there is verb first form, it is, am, are. When there is verb second form, it is was, were, okay? And that's why here, only here, in present simple we use is, am, are verb third form. In past simple we use was, were verb third form. These are the exceptions. Grammatically, how did it become, how did it born or how did it end up like this, I explained you. But if you don't get, no problem. You just need to cram these two, okay? Rest of it are same. You just need to add be third form. Here, if you don't understand, you just cram it. If you understood, that is good. Are you invited? Now you see no ing here, okay? That is clear, it is not continuous. Ing is the symbol of continuous, being continuous. Like this one was the present continuous, right? So if you notice, here you can see ing. But here you don't see. Are you invited to? So what am I generally saying? Does, because here in present simple we use do does and we know is am are, right? It's not was were, so it's present simple. Does someone, and we know we don't need verb third form because be plus verb third form is the rule, right? So we remove the third form, invite. Does someone invite? You is the object because it comes here. We know it's passive. So does someone invite you to? Because the subject and object of you is to, either way. So does someone invite you? I think it is easy for you to understand, right? Same way, the phone is moved, meaning to say someone moves. Okay, moves. SES. If you don't know tenses, obviously you must learn tenses first. Otherwise, obviously it is difficult. Someone moves the phone. Phone is the receiver. We are surprised. What can we use here? Someone surprises us. Okay. Why am I fired? So why does someone fire me? I was invited. Someone invited me. Same way, did someone call you? Okay. And that's how we make it. Get it? I hope you got it. If not, again, click the link in the description. Understand the whole article, then watch the video. Still not get it? You know my Discord at Mr. English KJ. The link is in the description also. Okay. Before going, one more thing. When you swipe down, at the end, you see here page number 2. I think maybe after this video, I will make it into a different post. But you will see something here at the end. Okay. Where you can see tons of example. If you click on page number 2, you will go to this page where you can find tons of examples that were explained to you. Okay. As you can see, there are tons of examples. Okay. Active and passive converted. It will be easy for you. Try to solve, try to understand, try to practice. I hope you will learn passive sooner. If you don't know tenses, obviously there are other things. You can click in the tense section, or you can go here and you can search tenses and click enter. There you can learn all about tenses. Okay. If you want to learn anything else apart from tenses, again you can search and learn, or you can go in this categories. I hope you like this video and you understood it. Please subscribe, share it to people who want to learn English and passive voice. Thank you for watching.